Fancy a cruise that takes in China and Japan, Nettie?
Wow, that would be amazing, but that's going to be out of budget, right?
Well, you see, I found this bargain, and that was that, and we started planning what was our most ambitious trip yet. And this was a pre-cruise stay in Shanghai, followed by an 8-day cruise up Japan's west coast, stopping at Jeju Island in South Korea too, all aboard Royal Caribbean Spectrum of the Seas, with a final night stay in Shanghai before returning home, and it was a great price too.
And there was a lot of planning involved, so much so that we've made another video about that. But anyway, on with our adventure. A pre-flight hotel stay in Heathrow was a great option. So tell us how excited you are then, guys.
We are so excited.
We are so excited.
We're going to China. Oh my God, we're going to China and Japan.
And South Korea.
And South Korea.
Yeah.
And Royal Caribbean. I mean, it's going to be an amazing trip. We are flying to Shanghai. We've got 3 nights in Shanghai, then we pick up the ship and then we sail to Jeju in South Korea and then up the west coast of Japan. Then another day in Shanghai when we come back. I mean, what a trip.
Oh, so excited. And we've never done Royal Caribbean either before, have we?
So this is going to be a real trip of a lifetime, and we're sailing with our friends the Dales.
Yeah, we've travelled with them before, haven't we, on
We
a
have.
cruise? Yeah.
They did a cruise to the Adriatic with us, didn't they?
They did, yeah.
Watch that video if you've not watched it. But this is brilliant, and we're having a pre-holiday sort of stay at a Heathrow hotel. We've never done that before either, have we?
We haven't, no. Well, it was so cheap, wasn't it?
Missed out. We've been paying like 200 quid for parking for a fortnight, and then we've got this one was 222 quid. It's actually £10 cheaper than paying for a fortnight's parking at Heathrow. Any rate, leave your car at the hotel, and we've got a nice room for the night as well.
Nice. This bed seems really comfy as well.
So yeah, cracking.
Yeah.
Really good. Any rate, look, come and join us on this adventure with Royal Caribbean to China and Japan and South Korea, and just see what crazy things
See what we get up to. See how, especially you, see how he gets on with the food.
Yeah, what am I going to eat?
Oh.
Okay.
Maybe it's a good diet for you.
Hey, look, it could be comedy gold after all, couldn't it? All right, stay tuned.
In the morning, we met our friends in the terminal, and they were as excited as us.
Our low-cost budget flights via Zurich added to the total travel time, totaling 16 hours. We flew with Swiss Air, and our experience was good. The flight to Zurich was quick and painless. Superb views over the Alps as we approached Zurich. Zurich Airport, though, is massive, and it took a while to switch between terminals using the underground train. The flight to Shanghai was also good. Plenty of legroom, and the in-flight food was fine, with Swiss cheese and chocolate being a nice touch. And also a glass of wine to try and help us sleep. Not that it worked too well. Maybe the excitement of actually visiting China was a bit too much to allow any of us to sleep. It was a long flight though, passing over parts of the world you've only ever seen on TV.
Touching down at Shanghai Pudong Airport, we weren't sure what to expect.
We have just landed in Shanghai. Very excited. You excited, Nettie?
Yeah, I'm really excited, but very knackered.
Excited, Dale?
We are super excited after however many days travelling. It feels like we have a rebate.
Anyway, we've got to go through immigration now, so hopefully those visas are going to pay off.
Despite all the worry, it was actually pretty painless. The first thing you notice is that the signage is in English as well as Chinese. Phew.
We had to fill in an arrival card on the plane. Once in the airport, we were directed to use a foreign visitor registration terminal to register our fingerprints. Our arrival cards were then checked, and as we had previously arranged Chinese tourist visas, we were directed through normal passport control, where more fingerprints were taken and our passports were stamped. We were then able to claim our baggage from the belt as normal. For passengers opting for the 240-hour visa-free transit option, there were long queues, and these passengers were directed to a separate area for processing.
We bought drinks to test out our Alipay app, which was our main means of payment in China. All worked okay.
What have you got to drink, Nettie?
Jasmine tea.
How do you know?
I've used Translate.
It's good, that, isn't it?
Our taxi driver Stephanie collected us in person and took us to the car park area.
Once on board the taxi, our ride to the hotel was an hour and a quarter, and we quickly experienced Shanghai's traffic congestion. Stephanie was a friendly driver and was keen to offer advice and suggestions for our stay in Shanghai.
This was fascinating, and our first glimpses of China mesmerised us. So much that was familiar, but so much that wasn't, and we quickly realised that Shanghai itself is relatively flat, with little in the way of hills or mountains. Stephanie was brilliant, and we couldn't have hoped for a better welcome to China.
We were dropped off at our hotel and met up with the Dales, who had travelled in a different taxi.
Our hotel was the Metropolo da Hua, and our first impressions were that this was a nice classic city centre hotel. It was too early to check in, so we dropped our bags at the hotel reception and took a walk around the surrounding neighbourhood. Despite all the traffic, the noise was quiet, as most cars and scooters were electric. The air quality was good too, and any preconceptions of Shanghai having problems with traffic pollution were quickly dispelled.
So first port of call here in Shanghai is we needed the coffee, so we've gone to Luckin Coffee, which apparently is the local rival to Starbucks.
This coffee chain is incredibly popular in Shanghai, and this little shop was busy. This was our first experience of how everyday trade is conducted in Shanghai, and it was via a phone app.
We did, however, need help to navigate this phone app, and a friendly member of staff who spoke a little English kindly helped us. However, I found that my credit card linked to my Alipay app had been frozen, and we were glad that more than one of us had bothered to set up the Alipay app. Top tip. So what did you have to drink then, guys?
We've gone for, Nettie and I've gone for the iced mango and coconut.
Alright.
It's very nice. It's nicely refreshing. And it's got chunks of the fruit, mango fruit in it as well. So it's
There you go.
It's like that.
Right. Can't check into our hotel yet, but we're going to do that shortly. So stay tuned.
4 drinks cost just £5. What a bargain.
We then walked further into the local area, and we quickly realised that we would need our wits about us, as the scooters ride on the pavement. Crossing the busy roads, however, was well provided for, with frequent crossing points and an orderly means of priority for pedestrians when the man on the crossing shows green.
We went looking for food and the choice was immense, but so was the language barrier. But we did find that staff in restaurants did try and help us, and we were using the Translate apps to communicate with them.
So we ordered food, and the waiter gave us the funniest look when we ordered 4 meals and 4 rice, as if to say, this is a joke, right? When the food arrived, we understood. The 4 sweet and sour pork meals with rice cost just £21.67 in total, but was enough food for 8 to 10 people. What's doggy bag in Mandarin, Si?
Not sure the Translate app will help there, Nettie. But the food was delicious, so tasty. And so we waddled back to the hotel and checked in. The hotel, being 4-star, registered us with the police and again scanned our passports.
We found our room and unpacked, and a nice room it was too. And it had one of those posh toilet seats that does extra business after you've done your business. We are going to enjoy ourselves here.
We grabbed a quick sleep and then got changed, ready for our evening trip, and reflected on our experience so far.
Good evening.
Hello.
We're here in Shanghai.
We got it here at last.
What a flight, long flight though.
Oh, so tiring.
Very tiring, very tiring. But, you know, what a great adventure that lies ahead of us. And we've had a taster of it this afternoon.
We have.
I mean, the whole flight thing was, I say, quite an ordeal. And we were really glad we got the visas, weren't we?
We are, yeah.
Yeah, because we did sort of pay the extra up front to get the visa, the tourist visa. We've got a 2-year tourist visa. And we were asked for that pretty much all the way through, even at Heathrow, weren't we?
We were.
Because we flew from Heathrow to Zurich and Zurich to Shanghai, and all the way through we would say, have you got a visa, you got a visa, you
Right
got a
at
visa.
the beginning they asked, didn't they?
Yeah, even when we just dropped our bags at
That's
Heathrow
right.
Airport, have you got a visa, have you got a visa? And I think what we've learned is it just makes everything easier for the airlines, and they literally just whistle you through. And even here at Shanghai, it just... There was a queue for people that came here for the 240-hour sort of visa-free transit. That is a thing here, but it just looked a lot more complicated. And
I think you'd have to wait a lot longer as well.
You'd have to wait. The queues are a lot longer, and I think for the airlines, they want to try and encourage you to get the visa you can. And I think for the money, I think it was well worth it, because I have to say, getting into Shanghai, it's been pretty painless, hasn't it?
It has been, yeah.
And what a fascinating city, isn't it?
It's amazing, isn't it?
We've come in.
So far,
we've had a little bit of kip because we're a bit sort of jet lagged. But they say you shouldn't do that, but we are quick. I couldn't stand up hardly. But we did manage to get out. We went to a coffee shop, didn't we?
We went for, yeah, that was recommended by the driver that brought us in.
The taxi driver,
Yeah.
yeah, that was fantastic.
Yeah.
And then we went and found some food. And one of the things that's really striking is how helpful and friendly people are.
They are so friendly. They'll get the translate out and try and help you, won't they? Even, you know, sometimes we did find in one place it just wasn't happening, was it?
I mean, I've learned that 3 months of Duolingo just isn't going to cut it at the end of the day.
No, and also you've got to order everything on an app, don't you?
Everything's digital.
Yeah,
Everything
you've got
is digital.
to download a code, don't you, to actually order something. And we were in one of them, and one of the places, and we just couldn't download it.
Yeah, some of
could
the
we? Couldn't
QR
download
codes
it.
don't seem to work on
No.
our Western phones.
And it was bringing up, wasn't it bringing up the shop next door?
You're bringing up the wrong shop.
Yeah,
and
the wrong
stuff like
shop,
that.
and yeah, it was a faff. So in the end, we said we apologised and said we'll go somewhere else.
But you know, at the end of the day,
Yeah.
you can use the Translate app. So on an iPhone, you can use the Apple Translate
That's
app. and
brilliant.
stuff like
That
that
is brilliant.
And our eSIMs have worked today
Yeah.
really, really well here. We've done the Aralo thing, and that's been really, really good. You know, and you can use the Translate apps, and then you can kind of show the person here, like, I'm trying to
This
do
is what I'm trying to say.
and they'll use their Translate
Yeah.
app, and they'll talk to you, and you just
Yeah.
showing phones to each other, and but we get there, and we had a lovely meal, didn't
that
we?
Translate app is amazing as well, because you'll see the Chinese writing on there and you sort of think, well, I can't read what that is, and then you just put the app over the top and it comes up in English for you.
Oh,
it's absolutely amazing.
It's fantastic,
Yeah.
you know. But we had a nice meal, didn't we?
We did.
So we
All
managed
for
to find
£21.65, I think it
yeah,
was.
we fed all four, so we're
All
here with the
four,
Dales,
yeah.
obviously, and food is cheap here, and the food
So
is
cheap,
really
and
good
it's
quality.
good what we had.
So far, anyway.
Yeah.
You know, and we're going to try different things. We've played
We
safe.
played safe, didn't
Played
we?
safe tonight.
We thought we would.
Yeah.
We were a bit tired, a little bit grumpy, I suppose.
But you know, I'm sure we'll get more adventurous as we go in. We've got a few days here before we head off
Yeah.
on our Royal Caribbean cruise. Anyway, stay with us. We're out on a river cruise tonight,
Yeah,
going
exciting.
down the Hongshui River or Hongshui River. I forgot that wrong.
Don't ask
Apologies.
me.
But it's supposedly the big spectacle in the evening with all the lights of all the.
I'm looking forward to that. That should be good.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Anyway, stay with us on our adventures here in fantastic Shanghai.
Yeah.
We then waited in the hotel lobby to be picked up by our driver Xi in a taxi for our evening excursion, and the city looked lovely being lit up at night. And after a 30-minute drive into the city and east of the river, we met Patrick, our guide for the night, and we met him at the river cruise boat terminal.
There were big queues and chaotic scenes at the terminal. It was high season for tourists, and many tours were trying to get aboard this main city attraction. But Patrick had bought tickets in advance, and we were able to jump part of the queue. Just part of the queue.
But before we knew it, we were able to board the crowded riverboat. But Patrick had secured VIP tickets for us, and we were able to find a seat at the bow of the boat in a reserved area.
The wind on the river brought a chill, but this was a prime spot, and we were not giving this up for anything.
The boat set sail and we cruised down the Huangpu River with Shanghai's spectacular skyline illuminated in the most incredible way.
This really was some experience, and we took many selfies to capture this special moment. And all the while, Patrick fed us information about the various buildings that were illuminated. We also learned the history of Shanghai City that put this marvel into context, and it is fascinating.
We sailed down the river, turned around and came back up the river. Our VIP seating meant that we got the best views in both directions, and we got great views of the famous Bund on the west side of the river too. There was so much to see, and even the old colonial era buildings were beautifully illuminated. But it was Shanghai's modern skyline that stole the show in our view. So we've done a Viator tour tonight. We booked a Viator, we've done a river cruise down the Huangpu River, and Patrick, our guide, has met us and it's been brilliant. He got us VIP tickets, we got to a VIP viewing area, and we've got some incredible views. Look at that there. There's the Pearl TV tower there, and there's the second tallest building in the world there, and it's fantastic. And Patrick, not only has he got us great access to a VIP viewing area on board the river boats, but he's been explaining about the history of the city and all the fantastic buildings and their history as well. Really worth it. I'll put a link in the description, but if you're in Shanghai, you can see why everybody says do this, do it.
Despite the cold wind, we wanted this experience to go on and on, but eventually after an hour we docked where we started from and we disembarked. This had been a brilliant excursion, and we will pop links in the description if this is something you would like to do.
We met our driver Xi back outside the terminal, and she sped us into the heart of old Shanghai, and this was equally a spectacular sight. And what a contrast to the modern city skyline that we had just witnessed. And we wandered into this maze of old streets, and our jaws just dropped at the beauty of the architecture.
These timber buildings, although restored, have been here for centuries and were the origins of what is modern Shanghai.
It's now a key tourist attraction, of course, and it's easy to see why. And at night, these buildings are illuminated just like their modern counterparts, and the effect is mesmerising, and it is a truly beautiful spectacle.
We grabbed the opportunity for an incredible selfie and an even better photo bomb.
The beauty of these buildings can't be understated, and this is exactly what we'd hoped to see. But it is a tourist hotspot, and these buildings attract thousands of tourists to buy souvenirs and have their photos taken in front of them. A nice touch though were ladies in traditional Chinese costume adding to the ambience, and it's quite a sight and just a wonderful experience, something great to see.
Knowing we were British, Patrick enjoyed telling us that the late Queen Elizabeth II once enjoyed tea in the famous tea house that sits above a small lake in the heart of the complex. And the lake and the tea house building were beautifully lit up. Just wow! Walking through these ancient streets was a joy. Shanghai's famous cuisine was also on offer. We had of course eaten, but reasoned that we would need to come back and at least try the legendary bao buns.
The shops were fascinating too. An insight into Chinese medicine, animal sculptures made entirely of chocolate, and some tea tasting. And Nettie couldn't resist buying some tasty, if pricey, fruit tea. This place could easily draw you in, but was absolutely brilliant.
Patrick rescued us from ourselves and ushered us back to the taxi. She drove us then to the French Quarter, which was more modestly lit up.
These colonial buildings date from a specific period in Shanghai's colourful history, and the French had styled these buildings on the Paris suburbs. Quite striking, and the avenues of illuminated sycamore trees are a distinct feature.
We walked through a modern shopping district with some interesting art exhibits.
But these buildings house the origins of the modern Chinese nation, and the first ever meeting of the Chinese Communist Party was within one of these buildings. But now the wider area has become an entertainment district filled with bars and brasseries, and there's live music and revellers from all across the world enjoying this iconic setting.
But this brilliant evening tour had come to an end, and we sadly said goodbye to Patrick, and Xi drove us back to our hotel.
So we've had a fantastic evening on our Viator tour. We've done the river cruise. We saw the incredible lights and illuminations on the city skyline. But then Patrick and Xi, our driver, took us to the Yu Yuan Old Town, which is obviously a tourist attraction. It's been sort of recreated as we understand it from the original buildings. So not many of the buildings we saw are the original ones, but isn't it gorgeous? Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, it caters for the tourists, and there's gift shops and restaurants and all that kind of there, but it's got a vibe, and yeah, you can see why it attracts the tourists. Had a really good time there, and we went to the French Quarter after that with its bars and restaurants and its old streets as well, and all the colonial style buildings there. Really spectacular evening. It's about 10:15 now. I think the jet lag has finally caught up. Everybody else has just dashed. When we turned in, I thought, well, I better come and just tell you all about our amazing evening. So we're going to turn in now. Tomorrow we've got another amazing day. We've got a big adventure. We're going to the water town, which I think is another big tourist attraction here in Shanghai. And we're also hopefully going to get up the big tower as well. That's when and go to the Yuan Garden, which is the 500-year-old gardens in the town. So another great tour planned for tomorrow. So stick with us and see how we get on.
And it was time for bed after a brilliant but exhausting day.
So join us in the next instalment of this amazing adventure as we explore more of Shanghai and its incredible experiences.
Thanks for watching.
Did you know we had membership options on this channel? It's only £1 and it helps us make more adventures like this and explore more of the amazing things there are in the world.
And if you don't want to pay anything, just like and subscribe. That helps us too.